Two babies born, one with this terrible heart and the other without the functioning brain. And we began the discussion of maybe instead of burying two babies, we could save the life of one with this new technology, even though it meant the death of the other from our action.
DNA is naturally familial, so it tells us something not only about ourselves, but about our kids and our siblings and our parents, and he had 2 adult children at the time. So we raised the issue to him, do you think you should be putting your information out there without getting permission from your adult children?
A Jehovah's Witness adult patient who really was quite treatable, but needed a blood transfusion, which he was refusing.
And they passed a law called Terry's Law that allowed Governor Bush to override the court's decision and to order that the feeding tube be put back in, which he did.
The study showed that the actual surgery was no better than the sham surgery. And so it turned out all this surgery that was being done was of no value.
Doctors have praised a Supreme Court decision to force the parents of a terminally ill child to defy their Jehovah's Witness faith by allowing a blood transfusion.
It never occurred to me that surgical placebo would have this kind of effect.
It's one of our natural rights that we're born with, the right to control the circumstances of one's own death.
Governor Jeb Bush suggested the state could intervene in this emotional case.
We had a situation surrounding Terry Scheibel.
What are you saying about how to protect people's privacy on this information? We believe this is sensitive information, and you control who you're sharing your genetic information with.
The field of medicine is evolving at a rapid pace. New technological advancements have unearthed ethical dilemmas, big and small, that affect every human being on the planet. The need to address these pressing issues was more apparent than ever to Dr. Brody when he founded the Center for Medical Ethics and Health Policy at Baylor College of Medicine in 1982.
There are legitimate moral reasons on both sides in many cases, and it's very hard to make a judgment. Clearly part of the vision was educating the medical students and the residents. And they began to realize that even if there wasn't a clear answer, there was tremendous benefit from thinking through the issues in a disciplined fashion. This track in medical ethics, it began at the request of the students. And I really felt good about that because it showed that, in fact, we had been successful.
Because of the really solid foundation that Dr. Brody had laid, the center was well positioned to become what it is now, which is one of the largest and fastest growing centers in the country. All of our activities are centered around education, clinical ethics consultation, health policy, research, and community outreach. We're able to take everything that we're doing and translate it directly to our students and to our residents. We have one of the largest clinical ethics consultation programs. We've expanded our research to new emerging technologies like neurotechnologies and to issues around public health ethics and policy. And the research program that I've been able to build around ethical and policy issues in genomics, we've been able to work side by side with the #1 genetics department in the country. So we can really collaborate in a way that enables us to anticipate issues that are on the cutting edge and to address those in a really proactive way. When the media has an ethical question or the president is dealing with issues that are going to affect all of us, or new programs are developing and they want to know sort of best practice standards for how to get up and running, we can respond rapidly to them and help governments, clinicians, and individuals decide what the right thing to do is.
Confidentiality is a key component of the patient-physician relationship. Patients who believe that their health information will remain confidential are more likely to provide doctors with more accurate information, which in turn will lead to better medical advice. Here are 3 things you cannot forget about confidentiality. 1. Most breaches are inadvertent. You may encounter a particularly challenging case that you want to share with your colleagues. That is okay, as long as you don't disclose information that can reasonably lead to the identity of the patient, like name, initials, prominent family members, or occupation, if unusual. You should also refrain from sharing cases on social media, especially those who might be on the news, as you can easily lose control of who sees this information once posted. 2. Confidentiality applies to individuals, not families. It is not uncommon for physicians to care for multiple family members. This can be very rewarding, but also fraught with ethical dilemmas. What if your patient asked you why you prescribed birth control pills to her 15-year-old daughter? Or what if you received a request from an insurance company for your patient's family history after you recently diagnosed his father with coronary artery disease? With few exceptions, you can only disclose medical information with your patient's implied or express consent, and the information disclosed should have been collected directly from that patient. 3. There are exceptions to confidentiality. The law recognizes specific situations where you need to disclose information for the greater public good. An example of mandatory reporting is when you suspect that a child is in need of protection. There are also situations where it is permissible for a physician to report to a governmental agency. For instance, in the situation in which a patient demonstrates to you that he or she will likely inflict serious harm on a specific person or group of persons.
My mother used to say this about residency. It takes a year to learn how to cut. It takes a lifetime to learn not to.
I'm up. I'm here.
What's going on?
Okay. Jackson's BP, it's a little down from yesterday. No big deal, but if we make a few calls, get pushy, maybe we can get him bumped a few spots up on the transplant list.
Dr. Bailey, you paged me 911 at 2:30 in the morning.
To chat? You like to chat. You chatty.
Not at 2:30 in the morning. Look, he's young. He's near the top of the list. You know, we'll find him his organs when they find him his organs, and God knows that staying up all night chatting about it is not going to help. I'm going to go get some sleep. I suggest you do the same.
He's running out of time.
They always are. Welcome to Pete.
Of all of the tools on the surgical tray, sound judgment is the trickiest one to master. And without it, we're all just toddlers running around with 10 blades.
You're upset.
I don't get upset with patients.
You're mad at me for killing those women. I get that. Would you feel differently if you knew that I was beaten as a child? Every day. It's how I learned to read. I used to hide under the sink and sound out the letters on the detergent box.
Is that true?
Did it make you feel better? Whatever helps you sleep at night, Dr. Gray.
Cool. Did you do something bad?
Traffic violation. What's wrong with you, kid?
I need a new liver and a new intestine.
Yeah? You want mine?
Why can't I have that nice man's organs? He offered.
You know how in school, the rules you have to follow? The same goes for here. We have to follow the rules or else we get in big trouble. And what that man offered you was definitely against the rules.
No. She's fighting with the insurance people again.
You're not supposed to worry about stuff like that.
Tell her something good today. Even if nothing good happens. She needs good news.
I've got a body full of high-quality parts here. 3-day liquidation sale. Everything must go.
Even if we could do it, you have to be a match for him. Which means we'd have to cross-match your blood with his.
Good thing we're both in a hospital, then. Let me save a life before I go. It's the least I can do.
So you really expect me to believe that you want to do this for a kid?
Whatever helps you sleep at night, Dr. Gray.